On Monday at Columbia University, the site of the first of dozens of campus encampment protests across the US, pro-Palestinian demonstrators defied university orders to leave the tents or face suspension.
Students in the backers, they will not be scared into dispersing. This is not a rules violation, this is a movement, and they will be here as long as it takes. We have a large community. They're very resilient. We'll stay until we're moved by force.
From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free!
On the West Coast, protesters set up a new encampment Monday at the University of Washington in Seattle, demanding an end to the war in Gaza and university divestment from Israel. The camp got brand new tent mats, free burritos distributed by the protesters, and every 20 minutes chants could be heard in support of Intifada, the Palestinian uprising against Israel, and even of Yemen Houthi rebels targeting the ships in the Red Sea. The university planted several "No camping allowed" signs at the liberal arts quadrangle, known as the Quad, where the protesters erected their tents.
A piece of wood is not going to deter us from standing in solidarity with Palestine. We're prepared for anything, but ultimately, if there are arrests, that is not because of choices that we made. That is a choice of university administration, the University of Washington Police Department, and the Seattle Police Department. I'm prepared to risk that.
Some faculty members argued that the university administration shouldn't have allowed for the encampment to form. Professor Stuart Regis, who teaches computer science, hopes the protest doesn't get to the point where police intervene.
I'm a little concerned that the university is allowing them to violate our own policies. I think if this was a White Lives Matter camp that was flying Confederate flags and upsetting black students who might be walking by, I don't think it would be allowed. So I think there's a double standard here that they're allowing this, but I'm glad that so far it's peaceful. I hope it stays that way.
Protesters say they're planning to stay until their demands are met.
The first is to end the repression of pro-Palestinian students, staff, and faculty. The second is that this university materially divest from Israel, and the third is that it cut ties with Boeing.
The aerospace company, with factories based in the state of Washington, collaborated with Israel in developing its anti-missile Arrow 3 defense system that recently successfully intercepted ballistic missiles fired by Iran against Israel. Israel supporters ask why the protesters are not addressing the topic of Hamas and the hostages it keeps in Gaza.
Well, I feel great sympathy for the families of hostages. Here in the United States, I have to look at what I can do. And I see that my government is providing billions of dollars in military aid to Israel.
Besides the call for ceasefire, the protesters' messages vary when it comes to a long-term solution. Some hope for a future democratic state for all citizens, while repeating organizers' call for global intifada. Natasha Mozgovaya, VOA News, Seattle.